Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of the Cayman Islands, which are part of the United Kingdom. Now I'm just showing you right now this map I have of Grand Cayman, which is by far the largest and most populous island within the Cayman Islands. There are two other islands that are part of the Cayman Islands. There's Little Cayman and Cayman Brac, which are a bit of a distance that way from Grand Cayman. The Cayman Islands are located in the Caribbean. I wonder if I can no, not really show you on this map here, but the map I have of the Caribbean, the islands are like this big, so there's no point in showing you. I thought I would show them, but it's kind of wedged between Cuba to the north and Jamaica to the southeast, in that area of the Caribbean. The capital is Georgetown, you can see right here. And besides this stretch of Grand Cayman, which is very populated, all of the cruise ships dock along here. And then, is it on here? No. Right here is 7 Mile Beach. Very beautiful, long, beachy area. But the rest of the island is pretty forested. It's very beautiful. Now, the Cayman Islands have an association with them, don't they? I feel like people associate the Cayman Islands with being a tax haven more than being a Caribbean paradise or anything like that. And yes, the Cayman Islands are a tax haven. People don't pay property tax, income tax. There's no corporate tax, so lots of corporations are here. It creates quite a bit of corruption and dubiousness, but from what I read, the Cayman Islands are actively working with the EU and other major economic powers to try to prevent that. The Cayman Islands' money pretty much all comes from tourism. That's pretty neat. But let's talk about the history here, because this is one of the few places in the world that was not inhabited before the Europeans found it. Not a lot of places can say that, huh? The first person to sight this island that we know of in history was none other than Christopher Columbus. He saw Grand Cayman in the year 1503, and he named it Las Tortugas, for the large populations of turtles, I believe it was green turtles, that lived around here. I should have mentioned all the coral reefs. This island is surrounded by coral reefs, but they're actually volcanic islands. They sit on a fault line. Isn't that interesting? When the Spanish came to claim them in the 1530s, they changed the name to the Cayman Islands because these islands were populated by Cayman alligators, which, if you don't know, there are actually 4 types of crocodilians, but we all know alligators and crocodiles. The other most populous one are caimans. And then what's the ones in India with the long snouts? I don't think they're called caimans, but they're crocodilians. I can't remember their name right now. Someone remember in the comments. But caimans are a lot like, I think they're more like alligators than crocodiles, but they're way smaller. They're like half the size of an alligator or crocodile. Just as vicious, just as dangerous. They are big snappers, but much smaller. However, very sadly, the wild populations of the turtles and the caimans are no longer on these islands. Isn't that sad? Like, the 2 animals they are named after were wiped out by the people who moved here. The first settlers would move in 1638, but the island was inhabited by other peoples on and off, some of them quite dubious, like pirates. Some shipwrecked sailors made their homes here. And evidently a population of deserters from Oliver Cromwell's army fled to Jamaica and then some of those moved to the Cayman Islands. Pretty interesting. Now, in the 1600s, Spain and Great Britain were at war over who would control what in the Caribbean. In 1670, they drew up a treaty deciding what could be British, what could be Spanish. And essentially, the Spanish gave a lot to Great Britain, including Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. So eventually, Great Britain would lump all of those together to create one colony. Very famously, Jamaica declared its independence in 1959, I believe. So the peoples of the Cayman Islands had a choice whether they wanted to join Jamaica, whether they wanted to remain part of the UK, or if they wanted to just become their own thing. Well, as you can see, they remained part of the UK, but they do have autonomous powers within the UK, including the whole taxes thing. And from what I understand, it's not like there's a lot of major events happening here. Every once in a while, there's an earthquake. In 2004, Hurricane Ivan hit the island directly and created lots of destruction. But these islands are very quiet, especially this one, big tourist islands. Lots of activities, lots of snorkeling and diving. Of course, the beaches, lots of shopping. No sales tax, and just lots of little touristy things to do all throughout. I'll show you a couple of good ones that I found. I found one that popped up a lot that involved going out in a boat to a stingray site and swimming with stingrays, and I couldn't find that on Google Earth. And I'm very sad because I think stingrays are really cute, funny little goobies. But there are some other things that I found that were pretty neat. So, with that being said, I think the only other little history bits that I have for you, I'll show you on Google Earth. So, with that being said, that is the history of the Cayman Islands in a little nutshell. Hey kitties, they are having big rustles tonight. Why don't I grab my tablet and we will look at the beautiful Cayman Islands on Google Earth. Let's go. You guys, it's snowing outside. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. See my neighbor across the street about to leave for work early in the morning, and they turn their headlights on and I can see the snow falling. It's snowing. I love snow. I'm a California girl who loves the snow because I've just never really seen it in my life. But we're not talking about snow tonight. Here we are at the Cayman Islands. We'll probably hear the neighbor's truck pull out in a minute. Just ignore that. And you'll hear the cats rolling around. Ignore them as well. Here we are in the Cayman Islands. Cayman Islands here. 1, 2, 3. But let's start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. Do you see what I mean by it being on a fault line? Look at that big underwater ridge there. It's so pronounced from above, right? So here's the beautiful Caribbean. You can see Cuba's here. Jamaica's right here. Then over here we can see Mexico, Belize, Honduras. We're actually going to Belize next in this series. You know what's crazy? It's the region where the capital city is. We're going here in the next video, so be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out. But we're not over there today. We are in the UK, technically, in the Cayman Islands. So let's start over here. There's not much to see on these islands. Here you can see this is Cayman Brac. You can see that there are settlements here, and there are beaches and such, but it's not like there is much to do here. Here's the Great Cave. That is pretty eerie. I don't think I would go in that cave. She's got an iguana. This island, although the turtles and caimans are gone, it is absolutely loaded with iguanas. Look at this fella in the cave. I don't know about that cave. No, thank you. And then next door is Little Cayman. You can see the little settlements there and little beaches, little restaurants, but mostly just barren little islands there. Little lighthouse. Here's the point of sand. This is really pretty. Look at that. Just pure Caribbean beauty. I've never been to the Caribbean, and I'm desperate to, because you guys know how much I love swimming and the ocean. This is kind of my dream spot, just anywhere in the Caribbean. And I don't know, maybe the Caymans. You can do some good shopping here. Also, apparently, tell me if this is true, you can just move to the Cayman Islands. Like, they don't care. Like, you don't have to be British to live in the Cayman Islands. Which, I mean, I guess that's true anywhere, but you can just move here without, like, a visa. Like, you could just buy a house and just move here. That's wild. If you're, like, from a different country other than the UK, you can just set up shop. Is that true? I read that and I couldn't believe it. But here is Grand Cayman. You can see the big corally cove here and all of the coral all around. So let's just start up here and work our way around. Start up here in West Bay, which is a big tourist spot. You can see there's all kinds of beachy homes throughout and beaches along the shore and lots of tourist stuff. So right here is a really cool one, the Cayman Turtle Center. So there's no more wild turtles, but they've certainly got turtles here, and you can see from above these lagoons. You can swim in these and swim with the turtles. There's breeding ponds there. These are definitely some kind of maybe like rehabilitation for turtles or something. But here you can swim with the turtles. Look how cool. Very sweet. A pretty bird there. Look at little turtle. It's a baby. They got sharks too. And of course iguanas. And parrots. We'll look at a parrot sanctuary in a minute. But yeah, you can come. Oh, they've got the dolphins next door. We'll look at that next. Oh, they've got some. That looks like an alligator, to be honest. Maybe it's a cayman, though. Rooster strutting around. Sponsor the release of a turtle into the wild. Isn't that wonderful? But yeah, across the street is the Dolphin Discovery, where you can swim with the dolphins. See, look, you can do the thing where they kiss you and watch them jump around. They're bottlenose dolphins. Very sweet. Yeah, you can splash around with the dolphins there. Very touristy, right? Look at Turtle Reef. That's over here. Look at the turtles. That's amazing. Oh, very sweet. There's Tortuga Rum over there. Lots of restaurants. And then here's a unique little site over here. Here's Hell. This is a natural rock formation. It looks like Nauru, but it's not. This is all natural. This is not man-made, and they call it Hell. Geology rocks. Yep, it's all natural. So I'm guessing it's because like it just is inhospitable. That's why they call it. There's welcome to Hell. But I think they call it that so they get people taking pictures in front of all the signs that say hell, and then they can make all these devil-themed like gift shops and restaurants and photo spots and such. Look at the little devil there. I think that's really why it's named that. Removal of hell rock is prohibited by law of the Cayman Islands. And then I think it says thank you. I hope it says that. Oh, and you can take angel pictures too. So yeah, fun tourist spot. Do not enter the Devil's Gate. I think the other thing I wanted to show you is actually in Georgetown. So let's head down there. Let's look at 7 Mile Beach, which once upon a time was 7 miles long, but due to erosion is no longer 7 miles. And you can see all of the waterfront homes along there. There's a golf course for the wealthy people who live here, but like how pristine this is. That water looks so inviting. This was the beach you saw in the intro to this video. And you know what's funny? All of the little assets that I put in, like the thank you channel members stuff, they're all named. Usually they're just named like 1, 2, 3, but sometimes they have actual names. And one of them was actually named 7 Mile Beach, so I had to use it. Big cruise ship coming in. They're floating. Look at that smile. Amazing. Oh, jet skis. And little cabanas and swings. Beautiful sunset. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So someone made like a whole racetrack in the sand here. That's pretty cool. There's changing rooms there. Or maybe little shops. Maybe little shops. And beautiful underwater fishies in this clear, clear water. Oh, you know what? There's a shipwreck up here somewhere. There's a couple. Let's see. I think it's over here, actually. Yep. This has a really good slideshow. The shipwreck that's become an artificial reef. And you know I don't have my scuba license, but if I did, this would be the first place I'd go. Because I love hearing about shipwrecks. Little turtles there. Where they go? Wow. Sploosh, something right there. Look at these oxygen tanks. Yeah, all this fish swimming. It reminds me of the beginning of The Little Mermaid when Ariel's swimming through the shipwreck. Because you can do that. You can swim through the shipwreck and pretend you're Ariel. I know that's what I would be doing if that were me. That's so cool. Look, he's steering the boat. Very cool. That's my favorite shipwreck slideshow. There's a bunch, but that's my favorite one. Alright, down here is Georgetown, the capital city. You can see the airport there. There goes my neighbor. Have a good day at work, neighbor. Here's the National Museum of the Cayman Islands. Let's see what we can find in here. Looks like a quilt showing little scenes around the island. An old boat. Uh-oh, Google Earth is crashing. 1 second. He hath founded it upon the seas, it says. Interesting. 1 second. Let's fix Google Earth. There we go. Okay. Back to the museum. What else is here? The home in the 1950s. Oh, he's back. We must have forgot something. Little photo spot out there. An old iguana. An old turtle. Beautiful scenes. Interesting. Dear Verdant Island set in blue Caribbean Sea. Where is this place? This would be my house. It's a whole house made out of conch shells. Look at all the conch shells. That's so cool. She thinks so too. That would be me. That's awesome. Let's see. There's lots of fun diving points. You can see how big. Looks like maybe that's a cruise ship or something coming in. Yeah, that's a cruise ship for sure. You can see the swimming pools and such. Here's the actual dock for the cruise ships, but it looks like nobody's there as of now in this photo. But this area, of course, is also full of little touristy shops and such. And, of course, all the beaches and diving and swimming and all of that. All the resorts down here. Yep. Let's see. Let's head. And you can see just how green it is on the inside. Here's the Queen Elizabeth II Botanic Park. There's a little thing up here. It's not a good slideshow, but she opened something over there once upon a time. But you can see all the pretty flowers. There he goes. Okay, now have a good day of work. Be safe in the snow. It's like the opposite landscape outside from what it is in these pictures. Oh, look at these. This is a beautiful botanical garden. I like all the colors. little pathways going through. That is, check for sleeping iguanas under your wheels. Very important so you don't run them over. And a pretty fountain. Let's look at the East End Marshland Natural Habitat. Oh, what if we could? Over here are some blowholes where there are holes in the rocky beach here that the water gets under and pew, like a whale blowhole. Pew. Those are always fun. Pew, little tiny one. Welcome to the blowholes. Let's see. Over here, actually, it's like more in. Let's see if I can remember where. I don't remember where. Oh, I know what I have to show you over here is the okay. Oh, right here. The wreck of the 10 sails, and then we'll look at the parrot sanctuary. So the 10 sails is part of Cayman Islands legend. The story is not true, evidently. But the legend says that when this ship wrecked, the people living here dashed out and rescued all the sailors that were trapped on the ship. Look at that iguana. And I think it was King George III. Again, the story is not true, but I think the story was King George III. Decided to thank the inhabitants of the Cayman Islands by not allowing them to pay taxes. And that is the legend of why the Cayman Islands doesn't have taxes. But evidently that story is not true, but I wish it was, because that's a great story. You can see some birds here. Some beautiful parrots. And other creatures. There's a bunny. There's turtles. Not even a sea turtle, just a regular pond turtle. I was hoping there's ducks. Oh, here we go. This is what I wanted to show you. This is an agouti. And it's a rodent. It is the only mammal native to the Cayman Islands. And I showed my sister, because she loves animals more than me, if you can believe it. And she went, oh, we saw those. So when we lived in Reno, there was a wildlife sanctuary, which sadly isn't there anymore. But they would mainly rescue animals, mainly from like millionaires in Las Vegas who wanted to own a tiger or something. They would rescue those animals and take them there to Reno. And she was like, I remember we saw what looked like a capybara, but it was way too small and its legs were way too long. So she's like, I think this was it. So it was an agouti. Isn't that cute? Little guy. All right. I think this wilderness reserve had a slideshow. And it's, of course, very wild. A big iguana there. And lots of plants, lots of parrots. And big plants. Oh, pretty. Pink rainbow. That's cool. Another iguana. Cacti. Just absolute wilderness out here. Little lizard, gecko maybe, a little guy, and a knoll maybe. The cave I want to show you is up here. I think. I thought it was up here. Its little slideshow doesn't pop up, so I had to type it in before. I guess I'll have to type it in again. You can see all the dive sites, but most of them don't have photos attached to them, very sadly. Let me see. Crystal caves. Right here. Now these caves are pretty neat. I would probably go in these caves. Look at all that. Stalactites and stalagmites. Did you learn the difference in school? That was one of the things that got rammed into us in elementary school to make sure that we learned for whatever reason. Look at this guy. He's like, check out this plant. Welcome to Open Ceiling Cave. Whoa. That cave's a little scary. I don't know about that cave. Look at this. It's got a sign telling you about this one very long, long cactus. Very cool. There's lots of neat plants around here. There's some kind of bird or something up there. I can't tell what it is. Ooh, pretty. Nice little resort area over here. And then over here, there's a neat starfish beach. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to show. See how swampy and forested it is on the interior? Yeah, Starfish Point. But this slideshow is kind of sad because you should absolutely not touch starfish in the wild. Like, don't do this. And like, if you have to touch a starfish, do not take it out of the water. Because that could, you know, kill them. It's a little guy. So, oh, they got a grill on that boat there, on that pontoon. That's pretty cool. So many chickens around here. So yeah, don't do this. This could end the starfish, and apparently the population of starfish here has diminished so much. Look, they're just picking them up. Don't do this. Don't do this, you guys. I know it's tempting. Don't do that. You're hurting them, poor guys. That slideshow makes me a little sad, but it's still important to see so that you know it's there. Oh, this beautiful coral. I wonder if you can swim around here, or is it too shallow? Because this would be fun to see. I don't know. But yeah, that is essentially Grand Cayman. A little tour all around Grand Cayman. And there you go. Pretty much got the Cayman Islands done for you guys. So let's end it here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. Here's the stingrays. See, like you take a boat out and you get to swim with the stingrays. I would love that. If you're still awake, click that thumbs up button. I'd appreciate that very much. And let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. And yeah, next time we're going to Belize. We're not going to hell. We're going to beautiful Belize, just across the way. So be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. I'm gonna go outside and look at the snow. I hope that you will have a good night. Good night.